Torquay, Devon, 1918, an extract from Barefoot on the Cobbles by Janet Pugh. Daisy alighted from the train at Torquay station, a worn carpet bag in her hand. She looked around her and breathed deeply, taking comfort from the familiar sea air. Gulls wheeled above her as they did at home, but the cobbled streets of Cobbles were distant now. She'd known that one day she would need to escape, but it had not been easy. She'd been right to bide her time, and now here she was in Torquay, with glorious opportunities of the south coast beckoning. Here the platform was crowded with convalescent soldiers. Daisy glanced at the letter in her hand, which gave the information she needed in order to find her new home. Obeying the detailed directions, she set off up Newton Road. There, on the right, was a large cream-painted house with its name affixed to the wrought iron gates. Aylwood. Daisy's heart gave a lurch of excitement. That was a name she recognised. She owed this thrilling opportunity to the house's mistress, Mrs. Gilly. Daisy's box had been sent on ahead, so she was unencumbered by heavy luggage as she wound her way up the street above Torquay station. The steepness of Upton Hill caught many a visitor unawares, but Daisy was accustomed to the Clovelly cobbles, so she was barely conscious of the gradient. Another glance at her instructions informed her that she would find number 48 on the left-hand side of the road, 3 doors up from Bertram's grocer's shop. The air was cold as she tightened the belt of her serviceable woolen coat. Her dark blue hat was pulled on firmly against the wind. Here was a small shop on the end of a terrace, and here, as expected, was number 48. Daisy was surprised that it was so small, a typical Victorian house like many she'd seen in Barefoot. There was no sign of a basement nor an attic, and Daisy wondered how it could accommodate the household that she'd been led to expect. She could not help noticing that the privet hedge was overgrown, and that a few weeds were forcing their way between the cracks in the paved front garden. There was no obvious rear entrance, so Daisy climbed the 2 steps to the blue-painted front door and raised the brass knocker tentatively.